All right, welcome to another episode of the Point After Podcast. We're your
Sir.
hosts, Caleb and Jay. My
Sir.
man, another one. How we feeling?
Hey man, I'm feeling great, brother. Another week of football, going on. Season is ramping up. You know what I mean? I'm ready. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Got the family over right now, man. Chilling on this Sunday. Just bought
We
the
like that.
PS5, so
We like that.
it's been a good day.
We like that. We like that. What games we playing though? We talking here?
Well, Madden right now, and then when FIFA comes out next on the 20th of September, I'll be playing FIFA. So you'll see me on
No,
FIFA.
no COD, bro.
Nah, I'm a sports gamer, bro. I don't play those kind of games no more. Them days, bro, I used to get frustrated. Like going back to when I used to play zombies on Call of Duty and Modern Warfare.
It was
Nah,
rough days.
yeah, those games are not for me, bro. I'm cool.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. All right, man. We gonna hop into this.
Yeah, let's get
So
into it, bro.
get into it. So today, well, first off, we got the point after report going on for y'all first today. The most important topic of this show, man. Let's keep in mind.
Yes, sir.
Um, so what we got, Caleb, man? What we got?
Yeah, first thing that was pretty big that broke a few days ago. Obviously, Matthew Judon is now officially an Atlanta Falcon for a third
Ooh,
round pick. Like this is exactly like what the Falcons need. They needed that
absolutely.
pass rusher. Um, Matthew Judon only played 4 games last year, but in those 4 games, he had 4 sacks.
Yeah,
So
coming up. I mean, he's coming off that torn bicep. It is a very recoverable injury.
mhm.
So I feel like he's gonna make a great recovery. You obviously, need to pay the man, but he's a monster. 15 and a half sacks. What are we talking? Year before that, 12 and a half sacks. I mean, Jesus, the man's like a
Yeah,
force when he's on the field. And it's clear like Falcons are going all in. So they want to be that contender in that NFC run this year. That's what I like to see, though. That's a great move, though.
yeah, no question. And then you look at that defense now, like as a whole, it's been revamped these last few years. Bringing in Matthew Judon, you obviously brought in Jesse Bates last year. AJ Terrell has developed into one of the better corners in football.
Justin
Grady
Simmons,
Jarrett, yeah, we'll get to Justin Simmons later, but that was huge.
that was
Grady Jarrett,
nasty.
one of the better defensive tackles in football. You got David Onyemata in the middle as well. You got Zach Harrison, Lorenzo Carter's pass rushers, Caden Ellis linebacker, Richie Grant safety, Arnold Ebikite pass rusher, and Ruke Hornahoro. I don't know if I said that name right, but
That was
this
about good,
Falcons,
though.
yeah, this Falcons defense, the last half of the season last year really came on and played really well. Now, obviously, they brought in Judon. They obviously brought in Justin Simmons, who we'll touch on in a bit. But this is looking like one of those dark horses in the NFC this year. Watch out for Atlanta, man.
For sure. I think he's going to bring a lot to that defense, along with Simmons, who we'll get to later. But I just think overall, this is a great move. And as you can see, the Falcons are going all in. And that's what we like to see from these teams. You make these big moves to, you know, amplify yourself where you couldn't before. So I think this is a great move. No complaints at all. And to be honest, they made two great moves. Let's just say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's like you're bringing in a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. Like, why not go all in?
Right.
You have a quarterback like that. So Atlanta's doing their part, man. We'll see what they
Hmm.
do.
Absolutely. And let's keep in mind too, with Cousins, like God forbid, but let's say Penix has to come in for a few games or such.
He's been looking pretty good, bro.
They could stay in it no matter what. This is a very competitive team. They're coming to play this year, and I guarantee you that defense is gonna put up some stats this year. Let's just say that.
Raheem Morris, man. Raheem Morris got him a little squad, man.
Absolutely, absolutely, brother. And then got some unfortunate news with JJ McCarthy out for the season with torn meniscus. Got to get that surgery.
Damn.
Dude, what is up with this injury bug? This preseason training camp,
It's
this
not a
whole
bug, man.
thing.
It's a virus, man. It's a
But
virus.
at this point, it's about to be pandemic. You know what I mean? Like,
For real.
this is horrible. But I was looking up for JJ. To be honest, I mean, the preseason you could only get so much. We all know the conversations. They go against second and third stringers. We get it, but at the end of the day, uh, JJ did look promising in a promising position with the Vikings, along with their wide receiver core in that offense, and getting to sit behind Sam Darnold as well. Learn from him for a few games and whatnot until he was tossing a little too many interceptions. They kind of had to take him out. But looks like Darnold's gonna have to take over. I don't think that's a good move for the Vikings, man. I say it's gonna be a rough year. Let's just say that much.
Yeah, it sucks, man. JJ McCarthy was definitely looking more and more promising the more I was just watching him in training camp and obviously these preseason games.
Yeah.
It sucks. You just hate for this stuff to happen. Um, and at the end of the day, right now it's the Sam Darnold show. Obviously he was a highly touted guy coming out of USC. He had stops with the Jets. The Jets didn't work out. The Carolina Panthers, obviously then was the Niners recently. But we'll see what Sam Darnold's about. There's no question he has ability. But clearly he's in a situation where now the expectations are not that high now with the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll see if he can kind of just go in there and play well. And you never know. He could play really well. It could be a thing where they could go on some kind of a run. I don't.
It's a very much Jimmy G situation with the Niners.
Yeah.
Like the team's kind of got to carry him because yes, Sam Darnold does have arm talent. There is talent there, correct? But decision making wise, and his reads, no, they aren't good, and he's very careless with the ball. You know what I mean? So I see this team going 8-9-ish, 9-8 on the upside. But what do you think about like their record and where they kind of stand?
I feel like with a lot of these teams that we're kind of like iffy about, we kind of think they're going 8-9, 9-8. But that's just kind of like where I feel Minnesota's at, and like I said, there is some talent on that roster.
Because they have good enough guys to,
especially on offense,
exactly to make plays. Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson. You know what I mean? It's deadly. You know what I mean? Sam Darnold's got to do something with these weapons, right?
Yeah, and you got a really solid offensive line as well. So I think it's gonna kind of similar to be it's a situation where it's like, okay, so there's talent around him. He has the offensive line. Is Sam Darnold gonna show that talent that that he showed at USC? That made him so everyone was excited to see.
I think it's a few years too late for all that, man.
You never know, man. He could be like a Nick Foles thing where he just comes on and he just
I'd love to see it.
I'd
love to see a story.
I'm trying to be optimistic here for people in Minnesota, man. It's a tough few days over there in Soda right now. So
yeah, absolutely is. No, definitely, because you could tell they like JJ. Like you could tell, especially Jefferson as well. Like the players around them and everything, they were building a rapport there. And just to see him get hurt now for the season like this is horrible, man. But all well wishes. Hopefully he heals up soon. He's gonna come back stronger. He could also benefit from this in a way. Sit back, study more of the playbook. Rest up, obviously, get your bearings. But what more can you do in your injury? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so just praying for a speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
But yeah, next thing, man, the Browns extended JOK, man. 3-year deal, $39 million, $25 million guaranteed. Rightfully so. This is one of the better young linebackers in football. A little on the underrated side. He's not talked about in the realms as the elite of the elite, but man, he can cover the field. Sideline to sideline, fast, great tackler. Has been one of the better tacklers in football since he's came in from day one. But that Browns team, right? We talked about it from top to bottom. This is a really talented roster. At the end of the day, right? Like
just if Watson could get it together, that's the answer. That's all it is, dude. If he comes out guns blazing, they are a dark horse, like you said. They are a top team. They're a little sneaky, and they're a little that team that's gonna get you. You know what I mean?
You got a defense with Delpit. Obviously, you've got Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome at corner.
Myles Garrett, of course.
Yeah, Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith. Like, there's some real talent on both sides, but gotta have that quarterback, man. And if Deshaun can show that, they can go on a run, bro. But
that's the thing. It's not like you said. It's not like Deshaun's bad. You know what I mean? It's not like he's bad. You just gotta be serviceable. You know what I mean?
And who knows if he's gonna get back to that level that he showed in Houston? Who knows? But if he could just be half of the player he was in Houston, this could be a real scary team.
I fully agree. And looks like that's Harbaugh offering a coaching job to Kaepernick, not a quarterback job. And honestly, when I read it, I thought it was a quarterback job. So I was like, oh, he's
Hmm.
finally getting his chance, right? And then I had to reread it and said coaching. So I'm like, with the backups you have there, I'm surprised you didn't offer him a quarterback job. What do you think?
Look, Kaepernick's been out of football for a while now. Look, I think at the end of the day, I think it'd be actually pretty interesting to bring him on as a coach because I think he's
Yeah,
someone who could give a lot of advice to this quarterback room. Because let's not forget it, like Kaepernick at one point, this guy was in a Super Bowl. Like
he
Kaepernick
was
at
in the
one point,
playoffs.
yeah, at one
When,
point under
when
Harbaugh, he was exciting, bro. Like, I mean, I still remember that game he had in the playoffs against Green Bay.
toe
You
to toe
know,
with Aaron Rodgers, man. Are you serious?
yeah. So he's someone with experience. Obviously, he's had a lot of success in this league as well in a short period of
Absolutely.
time.
Hmm.
So I think that could have been interesting to bring him on as sort of like a quarterback mentor. That sort of thing obviously didn't happen, but I thought it was pretty exciting though. But one thing you say about Jim Harbaugh, man, he's always trying to maximize and make the players on his team better. So
And
yeah,
shout out Harbaugh though, because as you can see, even brought Navarro Bowman back for the linebacker
yeah,
core,
that
and
was dope. I ain't gonna lie,
he's
that was
trying to
dope.
bring Kaepernick back, which I
Yeah,
think is like so cool. Like he has such a rapport with all those old Niner players and all the guys he's been around, and I just think like that's a testament to what a great coach he is. You know what I mean?
100%. And then moving on, man, Mr. Chase Claypool, man,
It's a big
Bill's
loss
plan to
for him.
release him. Yeah, with Chase, man, obviously he was someone when he was in Pittsburgh that really kind of came onto the scene, really athletic, explosive, 50-50 guy.
Right,
But he just hasn't since he that rookie year, and he just hasn't really been able to be consistent.
same
He's had
guy. Hmm.
injuries and he just hasn't really been able any kind of consistency or production. So, I mean, I think there's gonna be a few teams that take a flyer on him because they see what he could possibly be.
Especially
But
as like a number 3 or a number 4, right?
yeah, but I think at this point it is kind of weird to see how he's kind of just not been able to consistently find a team and play. So I mean, we'll see what happens in his future.
We'll see what happens, man. And on another wide receiver, Martavius Bryant signs with the Commanders, coming off of getting released from the Cowboys, I think last year, and then the XFL before that. Best year he had was 2015 with the Steelers, but you
Dude,
know
he was nice.
he was nice for
He
sure.
was
It's
nice, bro.
just another nice little serviceable weapon in the offense of the Commanders. McLaurin's obviously going to be your number one. That's your guy, right? So just another weapon for Daniels. We'll touch on Daniels in a little bit, but give him more guys. More the merrier, I would say.
100%. Even he had a little stint with the Raiders as well, and I was
Right.
excited when they brought him on. It's good to see him back in the NFL. Again, extremely talented wide receiver, and hopefully it sticks with the Commanders. Commanders are a team that's, obviously they got the quarterback for the future. There's some again we talk about talent on offense. Terry McLaurin, one of the best wide receivers in football. So we'll see, man. Hopefully Martavis does well and he can, potentially even down the line get a longer term contract or whether it's with the Commanders, some other team, and have some success this year.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. Next thing, man, Tavon Austin has announced his retirement, man. I'm not gonna lie, I almost shed a tear, man. Tavon,
Man,
dude, one of the most exciting college players that I ever saw. Like when he was
right?
at West Virginia, like one of the coldest like football mixtapes like I've ever seen. Like
Facts.
dude
And he
was
was he was also cold when he was on the Rams, dude. I remember him torching the Niners often,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, he was just a light highlight reel on any occasion. Extremely explosive, extremely talented. And again, just hoping and wishing for the best in his next
Absolutely.
chapter in his life, man.
Best wishes and all of and everything to his retirement. He had a great career. 33 years old, got to hang it up sometime and he decided it was his time. So, you
Yeah,
know.
shout out to Tavon. No, that dude was crazy. He was
In West
crazy.
Virginia
He
especially.
was
Yeah.
no, he was different. He was different.
Man was a dog. And then Hassan Reddick, man, he requests a trade after we were talking about our last pod.
or
Request a trade. Man, but like I understand him, if you can't come to terms on an agreement and he deserves to get paid, in 23, he had 11 sacks year before that, 16 sacks, and then he's had double digits in the last 4 years. You know what I mean? How could you not pay the man? So I understand where he's coming from, but it was just so sudden. Like, how could you not work it out in between the trade? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a weird one. We talked about it a little briefly last episode as far as with the Hassan Reddick thing. Um, Look, the Jets, they lost Bryce Huff to Philadelphia. And they basically replaced him with Hassan Reddick. It was like a swap.
Essentially,
Um, yeah, the fact they haven't figured out the situation is kind of weird. But at the same time, though, I think the Jets are looking at it the fact that look, they're gonna have to look at paying Garrett Wilson pretty soon, paying Brees
absolutely.
Hall, Sauce Gardner.
And then also
Like,
saving some room for a possible quarterback drafty or bringing some in free agency after Aaron Rodgers is getting up there. So that's understandable as well.
yeah, and think about it, as good as Hassan Reddick is, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and Brees Hall are more as far as the priority because these are homegrown guys in the draft, really young. But
We want to keep that core
hopefully,
together.
yeah, 100%. But hopefully, he finds a contract because I think he could be incredibly useful for this Jets defense. This Jets defense, even without him, I think is still going to be elite. With
Mhm.
him, it can even take him to a higher level. But hopefully he gets paid because his situation is weird. I don't,
The
I haven't
situation is
seen
where
something like
because
this in a while.
right because if it doesn't work out, where does he go?
Maybe we should have a Hassan Reddick trade destinations. I don't know, man. I mean,
Hassan Reddick. Who needs these D linemen?
like at the top of my head, look, look, there's been a lot of like Tyree Wilson. It's his second year. They drafted him really high. He's still developing. He's still promising. I think they're even talking about even potentially moving him to that D tackle role, move
Mhm.
him more inside. But again, with Hassan Reddick, you're gonna have to be paying him plus 20 plus million.
He's gonna want a lot of money
And I think for the Raiders, more importantly, is the quarterback position. I
for
don't think
sure.
paying a passer for 20 million at this point is a necessary need.
That's how I
But
kind of felt like with the whole Nick Bosa situation. Because how you gonna pay your quarterback when you're giving him all the money to a D
no,
lineman?
well,
But
Nick Bosa clears us. Nick Bosa is one of the best defensive players in football.
no, under
Hassan
under
Reddick's good,
under
but Nick Bosa, that's a
understandable,
different level. That's a different level.
understandable. But I have my own thoughts about
The
that.
dramatic pause, bro.
I have my own
Yeah,
thoughts
that's fine.
about that.
Yeah,
It's all right. It's all right. And then
my
talking about him
man.
earlier, man. Justin Simmons, man. He signs with the Falcons, man. Like that secondary is elite. Like along with
100%.
Bates right there. That
Ooh.
is disgusting. And I can't wait to see this Falcons defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I talked a little bit about AJ Terrell, one of the better
AJ Terrell's
cornerbacks
man.
in football. Now you got behind him Simmons and Bates. You talk about security behind you. I think that's gonna even give him more confidence and even take his game to a new level. Um, but like this is what teams. If you're serious about competing, this is what you got to do.
Yep.
Like
You gotta go all
Justin,
in.
100%. Justin Simmons has been one of the best safeties in football for years now. He was great those years in Denver. He was the top remaining free agent available, and the Falcons pounced on it. Obviously, he recently visited the Saints as well. But as a player, you're looking at the Saints, you're looking at the Falcons. The Saints
Falcons.
are a team where they're kind of headed this way now, and the Falcons are headed this way.
Mhm.
So
Even Saints, they could be like they're literally like teetering right here. And
yeah, the
it's
Falcons are more on
dependent
the
on
up.
Carr. Yeah. Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah. Even with like just depth in general, Falcons just hold it. You know what I mean?
yeah, I completely understand why he chose Atlanta over the Falcons over the Saints. And plus, I'm sure living in Atlanta ain't too bad. So shout out to
Right.
Justin Simmons.
Shout out to Justin Simmons. And then Stephon Gilmore signing 1 year, 10 mil with the Vikings.
Gilly
Another
man.
another another good move by the Vikings, man. Unfortunately, you got Sam Darnold at quarterback. Not saying this is a
Hey
waste of
man,
a sign. Not
Sam's
saying
gonna
this is
he's gonna
not
ball
saying.
out, bro.
All right, do your little hot take prediction. Go ahead.
Nah, nah.
Now go ahead. No,
I,
no, 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 no.
all
Stand
right,
on
all
that.
right, all right,
Stand on that.
all
Stand
right.
on that.
Excuse me, I gotta clear my throat and everything for this one. All right.
Let me hear it.
Sam Darnold, 23 touchdowns, 11 picks, I think he completes 62 or 63% of his passes. I think I'm not saying they're making the playoffs, but I think Sam Darnold kind of has like a Baker Mayfield year where he gets paid by a different team, like how Gardner Minshew was with the Colts last year.
I don't even think he's Gardner Minshew good.
He has talent, man. Like I get it, he hasn't looked great, and we're kind of running out of time. Not time. We're kind of running out of like the optimism for Sam Darnold, but I still think he can play, man. I just think
I think he could play. I think his ceiling's like Geno.
okay,
That's his ceiling.
yeah, yeah.
But
Gino
like a
led a team to the
floor
playoffs, right? Gino led a team to the playoffs.
out of one round.
But I'm just saying, man. Like I
And
don't
that's
know,
the
man.
no,
I
that's the
like Sam Darnold,
ceiling.
bro.
That's the ceiling. I don't expect him to make playoffs.
Yeah, okay. Mm, we'll see.
This guy, dude.
We'll see,
Anyways,
man. Yeah,
anyways,
next.
I think it's a no, I think it's a good move nonetheless. It helps out that secondary. I'm not saying Stefan's old, he's 33, but like
He's getting up there.
he's better than your average corner for sure.
Yeah, and brings a lot of experience to that defense already with Harrison Smith on the back end.
Yeah.
Um, so look, I mean, Minnesota has a solid team, but we talked about it, man. Like you said, I got the blind faith in Sam Darnold, but it's true. JJ McCarthy, he was brought in to be the guy.
Mhm.
Um,
Like
we'll
I
see
wouldn't
we'll see how it plays
no, go
out.
ahead.
No, I'm just saying we'll
Uh
see how it plays out.
no, it's all good. No, what I was gonna say though is like Sam Darnold's not bad if he was in for like 3, 4 games, then he's out. Well, if he's playing well, you want to keep, the consistency going and everything. But, I didn't expect him to. So 3, 4 games and then you just give it to JJ. But, let it unfortunate things happen. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Talk about your safety, man.
Hufunga, man, he's coming back. You know what I mean? It's a sight to see. It's a good thing to see. And I'm ready for him to come back. I don't know if he's gonna start right away. I think he might be limited with the snaps. You got Jair Brown there. He ascended last year. Very good play, on the defensive side. So I think Jair is gonna take most of the snaps in the beginning of the season. Hufunga, I want him to gradually come back from that, injury. So it's good to see him back. He's going to be a force. Niners keeping that depth going in that defense. Oh, as always.
Yeah, it's good to see him back, recover from the injury. There's no doubt he's in the mold of a Punisher. That's he's like he kind of reminded me. Obviously, he's better, but I remember when the Raiders drafted Carl Joseph, and he kind of reminds me just like that guy, just hard hitter, flying up the field, good against the run. So it's again great to have him back because he was an All Pro, right? Wasn't he an All Pro?
I think he was all pro. I believe so. Yes.
So anytime you can have an All Pro step back into an already really good football team,
That's
makes you
right.
even better. So great
That's
to have
right.
him back.
Absolutely.
And you know what, man? Let's talk about speaking of the Niners, since it's kind of a back to back thing.
It's a
On the
back to
left
back to back.
side, Mr. Dominant Trent Williams still doesn't have a contract. Jacob, and I mean, I know the Niners are your team, so I'm gonna let you majority of take this one. What's up, bro?
They need to just sign this man. They need to sign this man. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't know if the Ayuk situation is inflicting with theirs, but they just need to sign him, man. He's the whole O line. He props up the left side with the left guard position, and the center to right tackle position is abysmal. But they're serviceable as a whole O line with Trent Williams there. So when you don't have him, Brock Purdy's going to be running for his life, as he was seeing against the Saints today. Running for his life. He didn't get no throws off. He was trying to throw cross bodies, almost threw a pick. They give him no time. Not blaming it all on Purdy, but he didn't. Decision making wise, it wasn't good today. But the O line, just giving him no time. He has to roll out the pocket as soon as he hikes the ball. You need Trent Williams back flat out.
So let me ask you a question, right? So
Mhm.
If Trent's not coming back, gonna call Joe Staley. Hey
At this
Joe, come
point,
back.
at this point, you might have to, because there's nobody else on the market, and then you got Jalen Moore backing him up. He's not even serviceable.
Yeah.
He's getting beat off the line every time, shown on
Hmm.
film. It's
For
not
sure.
good.
Then what's going on with Mr. Aaron Banks?
Aaron Banks, broken pinky, unfortunate. He was definitely one of the upside of the offensive line apart from Trent Williams, especially on that left guard side now. I don't know who's specifically backing him up. It may be Burford.
Is it McKivitz?
No, McKivitz is on right side. But at the end of the day, they're hoping to get him back by week 1. So, Banks heal up fast. They need you. Besides Trent Williams, they need you too.
100%. And lastly, man, talk about Mr. Matt Milano has a bicep tear out indefinitely. That sucks.
Definitely. Big loss for the Bills, man. That defense, in the middle is going to struggle a little bit. It's not a good sight to see, man. This injury plague. It's horrible. All these players getting hurt.
Yeah, I think, obviously the big focus was Trayvon Diggs leaving this team. But if you look at the Bills this offseason, even though I think this is still going to be a really formidable team, Jordan Poyer is gone. Micah Hyde's a free agent.
Hmm.
Tre'Davious White's gone.
Yeah,
Tremaine
I was just about
Edmonds
to say
left.
that.
Tremaine Edmonds left last year.
Yep.
Von Miller is aging. He's not
Hmm.
quite the same guy he used to be.
Right.
Matt Milano is no doubt. He is by far. I think along with the, I'm blanking on the cornerback that was opposite of Tre'Davious White. He really came on this past season. I'm blanking on his name. You can probably fact check that me. But
Yeah, let me
he's
fact check that.
but no doubt when you look at the defense along with Ed Oliver in the middle, Matt Milano is the leader on that defense. He is so important to this team, especially with a lot of the veteran guys leaving this defense. So
Right.
they're gonna need him to obviously, heal up fast. They're gonna need him because without him and like I said, the losses they've already had on that defense.
Benford
Um,
or Rasul
no,
Douglas.
no. Other. Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, Rizal Douglas is solid, but I'm thinking of someone else.
Ingram.
Johnson.
Oh, Tyron Johnson.
Yeah, Tyron Johnson. He's one of the better young cornerbacks coming up. He's legit.
Okay.
But Matt Milano is definitely the leader of that defense now. So hopefully he can come back as quick as possible and recovers from this thing extremely
Absolutely.
fast.
Extremely fast indeed, my brother. And we're just gonna move on to the preseason week 2 recap. That's gonna be the end of the point after report. We know y'all love that one. But
Yee!
we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. And the first game, we're just gonna cover the recap. We know some games it was just mainly third stringers playing, so we're gonna kind of leave that to the wayside. We know those guys are just trying to earn a spot on the roster. But key moments here. Bears versus Bengals. Bears pull out the dub 27-3. That offense is scoring.
Mr.
Caleb Williams, man.
Williams.
It's looking good. It's looking good. I don't. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves here.
It's
People love
preseason.
to
It's preseason.
preseason. Let's calm it down here, buddy.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, man, he looks phenomenal. And scrambling wise, he looks great. Arm talent looks phenomenal. Um, you know,
Mahomes-esque?
esque. Let's not put a thing on it. He is
Yeah,
Caleb
let's not do
Williams.
that. Yeah, he's Caleb
Let's not
Williams.
do let's not
He's
do what
Caleb
that
Williams.
media
He's
does.
Caleb Williams. He's Caleb
He's
Williams.
Caleb Williams. Let's not do the comparisons. He's a
I know.
very talented quarterback. He could run. He could throw on the run. Leave it at that.
Mhm.
He had a nice throw to a Dunzy. They're building that connection there. He's gonna get a lot of opportunities. I feel like because they're gonna try to lock up DJ Moore. They're gonna try to lock up Keenan Allen. Dunze gonna be sneaky, wide open. I'm here. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's gonna be a lot in those key moments. You know what I mean?
100%. I want to touch on something different that I saw. I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but did you see that tweet that came out about like Keenan Allen has put on weight in training
I've
camp?
seen that. I think I scrolled past it, but I've seen like
What do you
he's
think
in a
about
real
that?
slow.
Like, do you think that's a thing? Like, how do you feel about that?
Um, I mean, I feel like we got to hear from the man himself. If he didn't intentionally, that's great. If he wants to be a more physical wide receiver, if he wants to, you know, just be more bulky, go for it. Whatever is your benefit. But
Mhm.
if it's, I don't know. I just got to hear from the man himself. You can't
Yeah.
really. I don't like touching on that without.
Nah, 100%.
Feel me? But
100%.
but what do you think? I want to hear your thoughts though.
I mean, it's interesting. Again, it's like some of these things, though, like, I don't know if it's true or not. Who knows? But like you said, I mean, getting older, maybe he wants to just maybe a little bit more bulkier. Who knows, man? Like,
And if
really,
anything,
who knows?
hey, if anything,
I
let's
just thought it
say
was interesting because I was like,
no, yeah, for sure. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's a concern, but
yeah,
if there's a noticeable difference, people are just gonna touch on it. And if anything, like let's say if Keenan Allen is not Keenan Allen, he's a decoy nonetheless. So
yeah,
still a
for sure.
benefit in my eyes.
Yeah. All right, next Raiders versus Cowboys. Cowboys did beat the Las Vegas Raiders 27-12, but like I said, it's preseason. These
Hey,
games don't count.
preseason. Yeah,
I don't really care. I
with your
don't.
inconsistent quarterbacks, but yeah, they don't count.
Look, I'm not concerned about the defense. This game clearly shows what I've been saying for a while now. The offense has to have more fluidity. You got to be able to score points, and you have to have a quarterback who can make plays. The
Like you're
defense is flying around. They're aggressive. That's not my concern. But you look at someone like Gardner Minshew, right? Obviously, breaking news, he's going to be the quarterback week 1. Won the
it was
job. Congrats to
announced.
him. Yeah, it's announced. Congrats. But he missed some throws, man.
No,
Like,
there's some very key throws, are very high.
yeah. I mean, he has moments where he can run around and make some good plays, but there were some moments where you're like, man, like really, you gonna get that?
Absolutely, and that's where you look on O'Connell's side with it though, and you're like, okay, he's more accurate. O'Connell's got a little more arm talent, but yet he's very much conservative, and
And
sometimes you can get picked off very easily.
yeah, and the difference is the fact of the matter is Minshew can create more.
I really,
O'Connell, yes, he has more arm talent, but O'Connell can't move, and the way he senses pressure is just not good. I mean, it's just
hmm
not good. Minshew is someone who can make plays on the fly. He's more mobile. He can create. So that's why they went with him as the quarterback, and obviously more experienced player as well with that. So, but one bright spot, and he's been a bright spot since he's came over from New England. Antonio Pierce's guy, Mr. Jack Jones. Um, I will not be surprised by the end of the season if we're talking about Jack Jones as potentially an elite cornerback in this game. I
I wouldn't
mean,
be surprised. He's
that
he's
dude's
all
a
over. He's all over the field. He's impacting every single play.
he's a
He's
ball
out
hawk.
there.
And
hmm
when they brought him over, I remember seeing some tweets and people saying, "Oh, he's talented, but there's some like character issues or some concerns." And I was like, "Okay, whatever. Well, I mean, we'll see." And then once they said that, okay, Antonio Pierce like knows him from, I guess, I don't know if it was his high school or college days, but he coached him
hmm
before. So I was thinking, okay, like if Antonio Pierce knows him, I think he can get the best out of him. And since he's came here, dude, he's been phenomenal. Like not even just the pick sixes, the aggressiveness, the swagger and confidence he's brought to the secondary. Like Merrick, who I'm obviously extremely high on, but he's shown some inconsistencies his first few years. But like the confidence he played too when Jack Jones came in, like this whole secondary has just gotten a complete lift. Like Jacorian Bennett, second year corner, again playing with a lot more confidence as well. So it's not a coincidence, man. There's no doubt he's brought a lot of swagger, and man, I'm telling you, end of the year, bro, Jack Jones could be. We talk about Mr. Jones is one of them guys, man. One of them
Hey,
guys.
I would not be surprised, man. He's very noticeable when he's playing out there.
Yeah.
Uh, but the
Talk
thing
about your
is,
boy Trey, man. No, no, no. Talk about
no,
your
no,
boy Trey.
we gonna get to Trey, but I did want to mention real quick, like the Raiders' defense is very good, and it's very notable that you can see that. That's very much the high part of the team. But
Beast.
absolutely, and the thing is, the offense gotta match the defense. Like they gotta match them there. The defense can't be out there all game. They're gonna get tired, as you can see. Then the Cowboys ended up putting up points, but the Raiders were holding it down in the beginning of the game.
Ah, man. I've said this. You know what? We're gonna come back here when the season's all finished. You're gonna be like, man, Caleb, like, why do you think the Raiders didn't make the playoffs? And I'm gonna say it right here and right now. The reason why we did not make the playoffs is because we didn't have consistent quarterback play. It's not going to be because of the defense. It's not going to be because of special teams. Because, by the way, Daniel Carson, one of the best kickers in football. AJ Cole, one of the best punters in football. It's not going to be the special teams. You got Tay. You got Jacoby Myers. You got Trey Tucker, who we've seen in preseason. I told you about Trey Tucker, that
You got
second year leap.
you got two premium tight ends as well.
Young tight ends, I'm telling you, it's
Quarterback. Y'all are missing the quarterback. That's what
oh.
it is.
But
That's
I
all
got
it
faith in
is.
Minshew, though. I got faith, but please, Mr. Minshew, please, please don't let me down, please.
Just can't miss those key throws, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but on
Talk about Trey, man.
I guess I gotta talk about Trey, man. Definitely better outing than his first game. You know, he threw it like 41 times. I think it was his first game, but a good outing here. 151 yards and a touchdown, and then along with the rushing touchdown to his credit, look good. I think he's definitely QB2 over Cooper Rush. Again, Cooper Rush, I think, is one of those conservative quarterbacks, not gonna win you close games in late game scenarios. I think he's just too conservative. That's all. But Trey Lance does just have some accuracy issues. That's all it is. But you get him in play action, have him in single back, get him out of the shotgun. I get it. Dallas has their playbook. But Trey Lance benefits from there, and as you could see, his big plays come from those play action and single back plays. And he's a force when he's scrambling as well, man. So I think very high upside, and teams want to trade for him too. I think that's a good bet.
Yes, sir. Then the Commanders versus the Dolphins. The Dolphins pulled out the win, 13-6, low scoring game. Jay, what you think, man?
Man, Dolphins had a good early drive, and then and ended with a nice passing touchdown from Tua. Showing why he got this little
Whoa.
contract, showing why he got the money.
Yeah,
But
man.
Daniel Jones, man, it's not looking good for the Giants. I'm sorry.
Dude,
Throwing
that was
2
crazy.
picks in a preseason game along with the pick 6 and a horrible, horrible decision making. And I just think DeVito needs to start at this point just to get them through the season. Just to get them through the season. Because what Neighbors had and what he did do, he had 4 catches, 54 yards, I think, did as well as he could with what he was given, and it wasn't much. So, unfortunate.
Dude, I'm starting to feel bad kind of for Daniel Jones, man.
I mean, how many years has he had to prove it though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he had that 2 years ago, which he got him the extension. He actually played pretty well. That was
He played
what
decent
Dable's.
that 1 year.
Yeah, it was Dable's first year. Or wait, no, it was no. I don't think it was Dable's first year. Was it Dable's first year? But Daniel Jones, man, he just yeah. I don't know if he's gonna be good enough moving forward. Look, we're gonna see because Saquon did cover up for a lot of his mistakes and was able to kind of shield him a little bit. Now with Saquon gone, we're gonna really see if Daniel Jones is the guy, and if he's not, then obviously Giants got to go fishing. They got to look for someone else.
Man,
Potentially Dak Prescott, maybe.
potentially. I mean, I wouldn't hate that move. Excuse me, I made a mistake. The Daniels I was supposed to be talking about was against the Commanders. Miami was playing the Commanders. So excuse
Oh,
me, that's
hey,
false in
but you
my
know what though?
notes.
Hey, but
That's
they
false in
was
my notes. But
no,
we're
hey,
gonna
it's,
get to
hey,
Daniel Jones
hey,
later.
hey, but you know what though? I would say though about Daniel Jones is they were roasting him. That's why I so bad,
Yeah,
bro.
no. Like I was going off my notes and I was just like, I saw Daniels and I didn't realize it was Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels played well. Let me just
Now
keep in mind,
that
Jaden
Daniels.
Daniels, he played well. Okay, little, you know what I mean? Temper
It's all
12,
good, bro.
80. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Temper 12, 78 yards. Very consistent. I just think they need to do better at finishing off drives. I think that's the problem. Settling for field goals. Get better on third down, finish out the drives, and I think that's going to help Commanders win games.
100%, man. Well, you know what? I'm gonna let you ride out with the Niners versus Saints, man. I want to hear what you got to say, man.
Nothing too crazy, but Brock Purdy did not have a good outing. I think he had 3 drives, did not score. bad decision making, but also bad pass blocking. You know, as we said earlier, without Trent Williams, this O line is nothing. He was out there with the second strings. What could you do? You know, and he wasn't out there with any of the starters. No Debo, no Kittle, no nada. So it was just kind of a all bad outing. And then Dobbs comes in and does his thing. Throws a nice touchdown. And but other than that, man, Carr, nothing too special. Had a little nice drive here, but
DC.
I don't think it's anything to look at. But Brock Purdy, what's a C with the weapons? He could still be good, but without Trent Williams, and if that O line isn't healthy, it's gonna be a tough year.
For sure, man. Just to talk a little bit though about the Broncos and the Packers. Obviously, you're gonna get to see one of Jacob's favorite quarterbacks, Jordan Love, was
Hey
a
man,
no show that game.
hey man,
Uh,
just save
but
him, man.
but you know what, man? I'm happy for him, happy for this guy. But as a Raider fan, I'm not happy. Mr. Bo Nix is looking good, man.
Bo looking good. He looking good. He looking consistent.
I'm not lying, man. And look, he lit it up at Oregon. Obviously, when he was at Auburn in the SEC, there were some questions about Bo Nix, like, is he good enough? Went to Oregon that last year, and he lit it up. He was obviously in the Heisman discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But look, man, one thing about Sean Payton, you could like him, hate him, whatever. He knows how to develop quarterbacks. That's his thing. And
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix looks good. Hate to see it because I need the Broncos to stay where they're at, bro.
I was about to
Just
say
stay at the bottom of the division.
they
bro.
actually could sneak a little over the
No.
Chargers here, maybe.
Oh yeah, over the Chargers, but not the Raiders. Over the Chargers.
They might be right in contention with y'all with the inconsistent quarterback play you guys are gonna get. So we're gonna see about that one, buddy.
I'm not gonna talk about that. You
All
got
right,
next.
all right. And we got the Chiefs versus the Lions. The Lions pull out the win by 24-23. Mahomes pulling out behind the back passes now.
That was insane.
That was
That
disgusting.
was insane. That was
And
insane.
then he's over here tossing beautiful passes to Xavier Worthy. That is going to be a disgusting duo. May I add? Like, what do you think about that?
You know what's funny though? After the game, they asked Mahomes about the behind the back pass, and he said
Mhm.
though, "It's like, oh, I was mad at Travis Kelce, like he messed up the route or the block,
Oh, what
and
the heck?
he did that out of frustration." I'm like,
Oh, okay.
"Are you serious, bruh?"
So
like,
he's just trying to flex
like
now.
I'm like, for real, bruh. like, come on, man.
Man, I heard all these offseason reports about he was practicing it at practice. I don't want to hear it.
You know what I mean? But look, man, it's the Chiefs. They're slowly but surely kind of already looking like they're going to be in midseason form week 1.
Of
So,
course. You know when
Xavier Worthy looks great. I mean, he's blowing past people with ease. Obviously, the Hollywood Brown situation. Got to see how that plays out. But number 15, I've said it. As long as you have number 15 and 87 on the football field, you're good. But now, obviously, with Xavier Worthy, that opens up a whole new dimension for that offense, and
straight
it's going to be exciting
dusting
to see.
past people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lastly, the Texans versus the Giants. Texans pulled it
Hold
out.
on. I know you just didn't forget my boy Hendon Hooker. Let me just give credit to him. He had a great game, and he should be
Mr.
quarterback
Hook,
2.
man.
He should be quarterback 2. Sudfeld needs to be QB3. I rest my case. Let's move on.
Well, so hold on. I got a question. Out of these 3 quarterbacks, who are you rooting for the most? Hendon Hooker, Jordan Love, or Trey Lance?
Who's ready?
No, who are you rooting for? Like from 1 to
Who am I
3?
rooting for? Oh, Jordan Love because he's starting.
Okay.
And then Trey Lance, and then Hendon Hooker.
Okay.
But I wish
Trey Lance is not number 1.
He's not starting.
Yeah,
He's not starting. You can't do that when you're not starting.
that's true. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But
okay.
yeah, we obviously talked a little bit. We kind of jumped the gun about Daniel Jones. Look,
We did. That was a notes error.
It was a point after error.
It's all right. We got point after error.
Look, Mr. Daniel Jones, it's not looking pretty good. Look, it's still preseason. Games don't count. But one thing about preseason, though, is that you want to have optimism going into the regular season.
Correct.
And Daniel Jones is not looking too optimistic right now.
Nope.
Look, like I said, Saquon's gone. Darren Waller just retired. It's a
You got
Malik Neighbor
neighbors.
show. Yes,
It's time to see what you can do with it, buddy.
yes, it's a Malik Neighbor show, man. Look, I mean, I believe Daniel Jones has talent. There's no doubt that he's a good running quarterback when he runs with the football, but his obviously his accuracy and his ability to throw the ball down the field, that's been a question since day one, and really it still hasn't been answered.
Right.
Um, Look, I'm an optimistic guy. I want to see great in everyone, but this Daniel Jones things, man, it looks a little uneasy to say the least.
Right, right. No, I mean, I just don't think he's a starting quarterback in this league. I think he'd be a good backup, 100%. But a
Yeah.
starter, no. I think Giants need to move on from him, and if anything, just give it to DeVito. For now. For now.
DeVito.
I just say for now.
Yes. All right, man. Well, last topics of the day. We're gonna talk about the Raiders and Niners keys going into the season. All right, my man. It's Raiders time. I want you to sit back. I want you to literally be on mute. Let me talk my ish.
Get on your soapbox. Hold on, let me put on my kickstand real quick. Let me just.
Yeah, I want you to sit back. You got some food right
Hey,
there.
you want me
I
to go?
got
On,
something to
you want me to
say.
go on mute? You want me to go on mute?
No. You don't have to go on mute, but I'm gonna need you
Oh,
to be
okay.
muted when I'm going. When I'm
Okay. I
talking
just
my
need this.
ish.
I just need to shut up. All right. Go on then.
All right, so the Raiders' keys this season. Number one, we talk about the most important position in football. It's the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Minshew's the guy. Congrats, congrats. But sir, Mr. Minshew mania, my man, we have to protect the football, sir, because at times he can overthrow guys, as we've seen, wide open guys, which can at times lead to picks. Can miss wide open guys as well, which isn't good. So, look, overall as a talent, I think he's no question better than Aidan O'Connell, especially right now. He gives them a better chance. The Raiders a better chance to win. Like I said, more athletic, can make those on the run. Obviously, as a veteran guy, um, he's someone who's experienced in season, so he gets it. Um, and he can make the throws. But the question is he going to cost the Raiders in games where they need to pull out? Is he going to be able to win the Raiders games? That remains the question. And it's a wait and see. Hopefully, it is a yes, because I'm not gonna lie. If Minshew leads us to the playoffs and he's balling, I might have to get a Minshew jersey because that's like all time aura. He is. One thing I'll say about Minshew, his aura is like +10, bro. He's entertaining for sure. He's one of them type of dudes, like funny as hell. But yeah, got to protect the ball, sir. Number two, um, outside of the quarterback, I always talk a lot about the offensive line. The most important player on our offensive line is Mr. Colton Miller. Now, he has to stay 100% healthy because obviously he's going to be protecting Minshew's blind side, and overall he anchors that offensive line. Now, he's been pretty healthy these previous 5 seasons. Outside of this past season, he did miss some time. So hopefully, whatever happened that last past season was just a blip, and it doesn't happen again. He stays healthy. When he's healthy, it is a totally different offense. You talk a lot about Trent Williams. I'm not saying Colton Miller's Trent Williams, but Colton Miller has that kind of impact on this offense because you have to be able to protect the blind side. Why? Because it makes the quarterback more confident, and obviously the best pass rushers are usually on that side. So if you can neutralize the team's best pass rusher, clearly it's going to make your offense better. So, Mr. Cole Miller, please stay healthy, sir. We need you. Number three, the defense, which I have been the most happy about and praised the most when it comes to this football team. It has to start the way they finished the last half of the season, especially that secondary. Especially that secondary. I talked about Jack Jones, Jacorian Bennett going in his second season. Hopefully, he takes a leap. Also, Nate Hobbs. I love Nate Hobbs in the slot. I think he's one of the better slot corners in football. I don't really love him on the outside. In the slot, I think that's his role as a slot corner. Also, with Trayvon Merrick at the back end, I think Trayvon Merrick. This is the Pro Bowl Trayvon Merrick year. I think this is the year. Mike Epps solid, obviously coming from Philadelphia last season, solid alongside Trayvon Merrick as well. But the strength of this defense is clearly going to be the front seven. Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Coons. Malcolm Coons, you're gonna get paid, buddy. Raiders, pay the man. Malcolm Coons, please pay the guy. Tyree Wilson. Look, he's incredibly raw. He's incredibly talented, but clearly he's still trying to find his way. I talked about how they're considering kind of moving him more inside this season. But again, I think now with Christian Wilkins, I think him alone is going to open up everything. We've seen it already in the preseason games when he's out there, how much he commands double teams on the interior, and how easy it's going to be making for Max Crosby, for Malcolm Coons, for potentially Tyree Wilson, and obviously at the linebacker position, Robert Spillane, Divine Diablo. Like these are obviously going to be big years for them as well. Leading that linebacking core, Spillane was fantastic last year. I'm not going to lie, like I think I said episode 1. I don't know a lot of Spillane when he came in. By the end of the year, this guy was a Pro Bowl linebacker. So clearly the Raiders saw something in him that I didn't, and he was fantastic. And hopefully he takes that to a new level the next season. Then obviously, Mr. Zamir White, Mr. Zeus. The Josh Jacobs era is over. We need you to step up, buddy. It's time. Let's go. It is time. Taking that RB1 role. Look, Zeus is a power back similar to Josh Jacobs. I think Josh was a little bit more elusive as far as, him being able to shake guys, him being able to, what is it called? Calling a zigzag, you know what I'm saying? He can zigzag, you know what I mean? Zeus is more of just a downfield power runner. But again, he's gonna have to step up, taking the load of those carries, since Josh is obviously gone now. And obviously Madison is more of a pass catching running back more than just a straight runner as well. So big year. We need a big year out of Zeus. And then just some key things is on defense. I talked about Jack Jones. Whether it's Jack Jones, Trayvon Merrick, or Divine Diablo, one of those three has to take a huge leap. Because we know about Max, we know about Christian Wilkins. There has to be that third guy on that defense that takes that kind of leap. And I believe it's going to come from one of those three guys. Now, who do I have the most confidence in to be that guy? Is Jack Jones, clearly. I think Jack Jones has a chance to be one of those elite corners in football. And then on offense, three guys, whether it's Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers, or Jacoby Myers. One of them has to take that leap. We know about Devontae Adams, but Devontae can't do everything. He can't be the only guy. He can't be that guy 99.99% of the time. They need another guy. Jacoby had flashes last year. I like Jacoby Myers as that number 2, but can he take an even bigger step of being potentially a 1,000-yard receiver, being that Robin to, Devontae's Batman? Brock Bowers, again, has elite all-pro type talent at tight end. Hopefully he is that, because if he is, talk about getting a Minshew jersey. I'm already going to order a Brock Bowers jersey for sure. But he has to take that kind. We're going to need that kind of year out of Brock Bowers, or if it's Trey Tucker. Again, I'm high on Trey Tucker as a deep threat. He can blow past defenders. Will he be that more involved in the offense? And will he be that guy that truly extends the field for the Raiders? Because they need that kind of guy. Because the Raiders, offensively, at the receiver position, don't have a lot of speed. It's mainly possession guys, route runners. Trey Tucker can be that guy that really takes that offense to a more higher level as far as stretching the field.
Great.
And then lastly, let's talk about the coach, Mr. Pierce. He's a full-time guy now. The interim tag, it's long gone. So what I hopefully see out of Antonio Pierce is he continues to motivate and give confidence to this team. And he continues to take risks. Because like last year, when he came in, he wasn't afraid to go on 4th down numerous times. You know what I'm saying? I like a coach who's aggressive. I like that. I like the Dan Campbell mentality. You know what I'm saying? I like that kind of coach who has confidence and faith in his team to, extend drives, to go for it on 4th down. That swagger, that confidence. And then also another thing too with Antonio Pierce is he continues to give the license to that defense to press, to fly around, to be more instinctive, and naturally just be themselves. Because when he came in, we saw a lot more press coverage. With Josh McDaniels, guys were sagging off a lot of zone stuff, and they weren't blitzing as much. When Antonio Pierce came in, they were blitzing and they were press coveraging. They let these guys, let them be themselves, let them play to their natural instincts. I think he needs to continue to do that. And if we see those things combined with more fluidity on offense, this is a team that has a chance to do some good things. So, Raiders, it is time. It is time, and I'm gonna do it before I hand it off to my boy Jay to let him talk about his Niners. Raiders. All right, Jay.
You heard the
It's time,
man.
bro.
You heard the
All right,
man.
it's time.
You heard the man. Now hold on, let me put up this kickstand real quick.
My
I don't
time.
got
Sit back.
too many key points as you, my boy. But because the Niners, got a little more. This is not a diss. Got a little more talent than the Raiders, so I'm not gonna need to, focus on the little other things as much. But to get started,
You for real, bro?
number one, shout out my tribal chief. Number one, gotta stay healthy. Gotta stay healthy, man. And that just goes to the key players, i.e., Kittle, Debo, Trent, Purdy. These guys have consistent injuries every year, reoccurring injuries. So these guys need to stay healthy. They need to, rehab, do whatever you need to do to stay healthy. And that goes to Kyle as well. I know you want this team to be physical. That's the motto, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to protect your guys. And that goes to CMC as well. And I'll touch on another point. Use the running back group as a group. Don't give CMC 20 carries a game. Don't do that. He's going to be burnt out by playoffs. What are you doing, Kyle? Think with the brain. You have Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, and then you drafted this guy, Cody Shubert. I think I don't want to butcher his last name. We got all these young legs, and yet you put 20 carries on CMC. Make it make sense. I understand CMC, and he has said this in interviews like, Kyle, give me the ball. I want the ball. I want to be in every play. But, you got to preserve him, especially for bigger games. And if you want to go to the Super Bowl and actually win it, you want to preserve these guys. So I think as a running back group, he needs to use them. Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, if he's healthy, Cody as well, if he makes the team, which I hope he does because he's a great back. Yeah, he had a great game today against the Saints. And Jordan Mason, he's just like he kind of reminds me of Zamir White. I don't think as good as Zamir White, but just a full on power back, straight ahead, full speed ahead. And I think they could just take some pressure off CMC, a little rest. But and then another point I got here, man. Second half play calling just needs to get consistent, along with closing out big games in big situations. A lot of the stuff what Kyle does in late games, it gets very vanilla. On third down, you're running the ball for what? You know what I mean? It's just a lot of questionable decision making, not giving your star players the ball, and just a lot of questionable decision making. So I just think they clean that up. Niners have a very good season, and I think Purdy, but this goes to the O line as well because it depends on how good the O line will be. But
Mm-hmm.
if Trent's back, Purdy, we need to see some consistency for you to get this big contract. You know what I mean? Yes, took it to the playoffs, took it to the Super Bowl, but you got a bunch of star players with you. And when you have played without them or without one, you have struggled. I'm not saying you're a bad quarterback. I'm not saying you can't do anything without the guys, but we just need to clear up another year. Let's be consistent. Let's earn the big contract, i.e., on the other side of the ball, Hassan Reddick. He has double-digit sacks almost every single year. You have to pay that man. That's a man who deserves to get paid. Touching on that contract talk, that's a man who deserves to get paid. That's
100%.
consistency and deserving to get his money. So, and that's why he's moving the way he's moving. But back to my point. And the O line just needs to stay healthy. The second strings, unfortunately, isn't any good. Whoever's behind at quarterback, whether it be Purdy, whether it be the backups, they're gonna be running for their lives. So those are my key points, man.
Hey, so when it comes to McCaffrey, do you think there's gonna be the Madden curse?
No, that ship sailed with Mahomes. That
Yes.
sailed. That sailed. I don't believe
Yeah.
that curse no more. Of course,
Yeah.
Mahomes would break it.
Well, yeah, man. Well, that's gonna do it for episode 5 of the
That's
Point
gonna
After
do it.
podcast. Obviously, in episode 6, we're gonna be covering the Raiders and Niners preseason as a whole. We're gonna list our top 5 QBs, running backs, and wide receivers heading into the season. Key matchups throughout the season as well, and just some hot takes we're gonna get into, man. Maybe some Gardner Minshew MVP talks. Anyways, Jacob, you got anything to cover?
Hey,
Before
buddy,
we
you want to
head out?
relax over there? Hey, real quick, relax. Hey, man, y'all catch the next episode the next week after. But go ahead and like and subscribe. Everything is in the description. Y'all can catch the timestamps. You know, me putting them in there from now on. You're welcome. Y'all can navigate your way through the video. But that's all from me, man. And we're just gonna keep bringing this content for you. Football season is on the way.
It's here.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Any last words, my boy?
Nah, man. We're gonna keep bringing this exciting content, and football season is here. Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, man. It's been me and your boy Caleb. Till the next one, we out. Peace.
Deuces.